Let's get started!
Clever comrade. I thought you were gonna talk about this too last week.
Deadline. The PSU broke. Remember?
Huh?
You were even trying to spin it breaking as one of the many steps of your many plans, remember?
Huh.
Okay, now that it's somehow working again, let's begin. So yeah, about why there's no video last week. The PSU broke down. Again. But since it's somehow suddenly okay again, here we go. Chapter 378. Compared to the average MHA final battle chapter, it's noticeably longer, which is neat. Also, we got both Jello and Marksman making a reappearance here, and the fans are already cheering and simping, in that respective order. Now, as usual, this video will not be a full chapter recap. We are just gonna be ranting about things that don't make sense. But mostly just about Death Note, and my favorite clown, Handyman. But before we start, let me say a little something. So about the American laser jets. Back in chapter 334, the surviving American pilots gave a full analysis of all of Handyman's stockpiled quirks to the Japanese heroes. While it's nice and all, but the fact that the floating fortress is literally just meant to counter decay and nothing else, meant that the Japanese heroes didn't even read it, and just created the anti-Handyman countermeasures based off of the super decay back in the war arc. Well, to be fair, the floating fortress could be already done by the time the American pilots handed their Handyman quirk analysis, and there's no more time to add in some extra countermeasures. Okay, that's enough about the laser jet pilots. Let's get on with the rant. Let's start with our first topic. Death Note. So this guy's been operating in the background for quite some time now. Looking at screens, mashing the keyboard, and generally just being ugly, and I mean a whole lot of ugly. I swear this guy just keeps getting drawn uglier and uglier and uglier. It's like every chapter he gets a new freaky face. Anyways, ugliness aside, now that he's finally caught and done, I just gotta ask, did a single one of this guy's contributions in this final battle even amount to anything? I mean, just look at this. He reactivated his satellite far too late, causing the big boy rescue squad to literally get stomped, because no one told them there are heroes guarding the place. And then a little while later, rain clouds soon formed, preventing the satellite from seeing anything any further. Next, the device he installed on the back of this bird brain, which he used to tell this guy that his dad is currently at Gunga Mountain, eventually turned out pointless, because a portal soon appeared that took this guy straight to Gunga Mountain anyway. And then there's Libera's gear, which is shown to its full extent once. And then it's broken in the next time we see her. He hacked the UA platform, only to get counter-hacked literally just seconds later. Furthermore, Jello suddenly arrived to catch everything, also literally just seconds later. And then there's the hacking of the underground system, which is basically pointless since there's nothing attacking the UA citadel anyways. Not to mention there's probably not even a single person there. And since the underground system hacking event is just quickly shrugged off, it's safe to say that yes, there's no one even there. So yeah, as you can see, none of his contributions even amounted to anything significant. No matter what he does, something else happens to make sure he impacts the plot as little as possible. Hell, even the scene where he's caught is just a blink and you'll miss it moment. It's like the story doesn't want him contributing anything at all. This is especially obvious during the mutant discrimination subplot, where both he and Deadline teamed up to rescue the teleporter dude. Notice how all Death Note's mutant army ever did is walk 2 meters into the hospital and then give up. As compared to Deadline's Godzilla pet who managed to breach all the way through. Not only that, once Godzilla reached teleporter dude, Death Note's recorder device is conveniently broken, and then conveniently replaced with an AS-pull device that functioned as the exact same thing, just so Death Note won't contribute anything. Now this raises an obvious f***ing question. If Death Note is not allowed to contribute anything meaningful, then why the f*** is he still here? Hell, even the other PLF idiots don't even have actual contributions either. The creator didn't even bother to give them names and quirks. So why the f*** are they still here? Why preserve these people all the way to the finale if they are not even allowed to do anything? Nah, whatever, let's move on to the next rant. It's gonna take me an entire day to understand this shit. Anyways, here goes the next topic. The handyman. Back in our rant video on chapter 377, I roasted the out of handyman for being so useless, especially how he blasted upwards where there's no people instead of downwards. I also ranted about how said blast being so weak, it didn't even affect the UA building, Falcon, and the grass handyman standing on. But most importantly, I talked about how he gets weaker and weaker every form. But anyways, you could say him being weak is still forgivable since he just awakened. What about now that he's finally regained all of his quirks? Did he finally stop getting weaker? Of course not. This is f***ing handyman we are talking about. The most f***ing useless, pathetic, worthless piece of garbage villain in all of anime. Of course he still f***ing evolved backwards and got even more f***ing weaker than before. In this third evolution, a simple high caliber bullet from a broken gun is now more than enough to cut off his entire hand. Even though his main body is almost completely invulnerable just a couple of chapters ago. It's kinda funny to think that somewhere out there, Deadline is probably still not finished blabbering about how he had everything planned out. And yet his so-called super weapon is a massive f***ing joke that keeps evolving backwards and becoming more and more useless and pathetic every f***ing chapter. But you know what's the silliest part here? Notice how the manga is suspiciously not showing what happened to the handyman kill squad. Notice how Falcon won't look behind him for some reason. This could only mean one thing. The Lord Explosion murder has been reborn and is about to make an explosive re-entrance. Probably towards the already ultra weak and useless handyman and splatter him in one hit. But before we end, I'd like to talk about these two for a bit. As for Jello, his return is fine. He's okay, he's cool, he's awesome. The only awkward part here is that he somehow defeated every single goddamned villain in his prison. In a world where everyone has powers. I find this highly unbelievable. You mean there's literally no one there that can escape that? And as for Marksman, did the heroes really just pull her out of the hospital just for this
Wake up!
What?
Wake the f*** up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Come with me if you want to live.
Anyways, can Marksman even see what's going on at the floating fortress? She's clearly kilometers away and this is not even a real scope. And I don't think she even has any zoom vision like this person does. Also, shouldn't she be closer if she's providing cover fire? She needs her bullets to arrive to her target moments after pulling the trigger and not waste time traveling. But seriously, she's clearly not even ready to be out in the field yet. Where the f is that cowboy wannabe when you need him?
You ever heard of a snipe?
Snipe?
You'd have to clap your hands 3 times to lure it in.
I'll find him, Mr. Frederickson. Snipe. Here, snipey, snipey.
Overall, with a bunch of characters arriving into the scene here in chapter 378, as well as this idiot getting kicked out of the picture, it's clear that the way it's written, that this is the point where the heroes are about to regain the upper hand, which means MHA could end within 40 chapters from now. Anyways, the creator further weakening handyman is really strange. This same chapter also showed how f***ing embarrassing and pathetic Death Note is. It's like they're competing on who gets to be MHA's biggest loser. Which is in stark contrast with these two, who are clearly trying to compete on who has the more badass reintroduction.
We've been over this a million times already.
Relax, Miss Mindlayer, relax. The little person is just gonna try to fully repair the PSU so it won't break down anymore. It's 100% safe, stop overreacting. It's not like it's gonna explode. Plus little person's invulnerable anyway. Oh come on, now it's broken. How in the hell am I supposed to buy a replacement if we don't even have any money?
That's it. I'm making an OnlyFans account.
Deadline, what the f?